All right, folks, good afternoon. Welcome on back here this Tuesday, August 13th. Great to have all of our students and members alike just rejoining us inside our live trading room. Got a full house here with us. We've had a phenomenal day up until this point. It's been insane here inside our live trading room. Great to see Lynn and Randy, Michael, Jeff, Leda, who else? We had Margaret just before. Big shout out to Genevieve, who killed it just now on this trade here, the BSLK. Also, Anna, Kevin, he killed it all throughout the day. Today, he's actually on a trade right there. The MNTS, there we go. Michael, great to have you. Actually, a quick shout out to one of our platinum students here. I got a message earlier. It was like music to my ears, just being an instructor and private coach here at CTU. One of our platinum students, I want to give a big shout out to Dave. Dave L. He wrote me earlier. He's saying, thanks, Josh, for teaching me to be patient. This is the more important part coming up here. He reduced his trading by about 85%. I felt as if he was over trading, telling him to kind of be patient, scale back. And not only did he scale back on the number of trades he's been making by 85%, hey, less is more, right? But he's become more effective. He's making more money this week by actually trading less. So big shout out to Dave. There you go, Dave. Dave, how long have you been with CTU actually to begin? I'll often ask students this, throughout the day or week. How long have you been with CTU, Dave? What, like a couple of years now? 3 years maybe? 2 to 3? I feel like time flies, though. You never know. You lose track of your days, weeks, months, right? Dave says 1.5 years. All right, not too far off there. But hey, otherwise, joining us on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Down below, bottom left right there, at Cyber Trading U. Look at the follow, subscribe button, be a friend, tell a friend. And otherwise, look to join us inside our live trading room, just if not later today, tomorrow morning. But we got a lot to talk about here, don't we? So BSLK, this is up an ungodly amount right now, right? This is up 635% and counting. It popped up just before here. It's like 1750 or some crap. Insane. That's the first thing you got to say, right? How often do you see any stock make a 700% move or so in one day? It's pretty damn rare, quite frankly. Even here in CTU land, in our trading room, we can't tell you guaranteed, once a week, once every other week. It'll happen. It'll come across the board every now and then. We see stocks up 100% very frequent. I'd probably tell you once a week at least, if not more. To have 635, nearly 700% just earlier, you can't just expect this. So A, if you didn't take part in any of these pops here, even heading into the late morning, I get it. If you didn't think that it was going to continue, if you thought it was up too much, I get it. It's certainly a gamble. The more any stock goes up. So I'll tell you what I did earlier on this trade myself. I'll show the pre-market activity here. The BSLK trade was like trending down a lot going into the market open. It was up percentage-wise, but the sellers were winning this battle prior to the opening here. So it took a little while. It took about like an hour or maybe like 45 minutes otherwise for this to get going, flip resistance into support. That's all the way down below here at $3.85, mind you. So yeah, when this was at $3.85, neither me, Fausto, I don't care, whoever they are, the world's greatest trader, whomever he or she may be, I guarantee you they were not expecting, confident in this hitting 17. So what you do is you look to take the money and run where and when you can. Really quick, for reference, of course, Dave and Lynn and Randy, Margaret, who else we got here? Alan, I see Farzad, Jim, Ray, Roberto, Terry, Yehuda. What time is reversal time, folks? What time do we normally expect reversals within the stock market? 10:30. All right. Well, listen, it hit resistance right here around $5.50, a little after 10:30 in the morning. If you wipe your hands clean from a morning runner here at this time, perfect. Now, of course, at this time, it was probably up, like maybe 200%. So yeah, maybe it can keep going up more. We do see stocks make that 100 to 200% move pretty frequent. So just to say, with higher lows, you can get a higher high, retesting, re-breaking resistance, led to the next leg going into 11 o'clock in the morning. I didn't jump into it there. I'm on a coaching call with actually one of our students earlier, and we were focused on, what was it, the MNTS there, Kev? And then otherwise, I was on with a couple other traders as well. Who's losing track of my days, weeks, times, and coaching students here? Who else we got? Alicia I was with. Oh, that was 10:30. Then Kevin at 11. Yeah, so Kevin and I were focused on this trade here, but we weren't in, and we were expecting resistance here to hold the first time, at least the first test. Then, hey, the more it can, poke and test that resistance, maybe the buyers could win that battle. This was super impressive. This blew through resistance real quick. So let me ask all of us here otherwise, Jim, Michael, Thomas joining us here, Wendy, great to always see. When a stock breaks over resistance and it runs from it after, what are we looking for that resistance to flip into, folks? What are we looking for that resistance to flip into? I'll tell you what I was looking for that resistance to flip into. Because earlier here, let's see if I can get it. It was probably if I show BSLK, scroll up. That's a little bit later on. Here we go. So myself and Kevin were focused on this being resistance at first. So obviously it wasn't resistance at first. It blew right through that like a hot knife through butter. Well, now at that point, you got to look to see if that resistance can flip into support. So earlier I was, alluding to the fact, hey, can we get this to break under and then over, kind of dip into it as support? So it broke below it pretty quickly here. It ended up pushing back up. I ended up jumping on this trade at 2 times. I'll tell you, the first time I got stopped out. So I jumped in, it was on like one of these 2 candles, red or green, either way. Just if it's not making that better sling, I'd rather not risk it. So I didn't really want to risk too much. Maybe I could have held on the whole way through on just one trade. So I missed out where it popped up a little bit here. I got back in when it pulled back one more time. All right, if I have the chance to see this flip into support and this retain higher lows, let's see it then and there. So I ended up taking like a tiny loss on the first attempt here. Then when it pulled back on the next go around, I needed to make sure it held. But obviously, if it's going to hold, there's a better chance for that next move up. So I got out on this trade at $11 on pretty much on the nose. It was like 10.99, but otherwise this thing just kept ripping, right? You don't want to play musical chairs in this stock market, especially with these day trading stocks that are up, 100%, let alone freaking 650%. You don't want to play musical chairs because you know what happens when the music stops, right? You got to find your seat. Better make sure you find your seat, if anything, folks, because if you don't, this thing is going to drop so fast, you won't even have time to breathe, right? So even right here, this thing just crapped out pretty badly for about 3 points. In the last 5 minutes, this thing dropped $3 a share, right? So I don't really want to trade the stock too much, but it's still technically making higher lows, and there's a chance for this to try and hold one more time and pop. It's kind of a show and tell type of trade here. We don't need to trade this. And actually, the good thing with this stock is that this will unlock a number of stocks that are going to pop here across the afternoon into tomorrow morning. Anytime there is a stock that does make like a 500, 700, 1,000% move, it unlocks the door for all of the other crazies out there to break out the insane asylum. So, with that said, there's probably going to be a few other BSLKs here to work with going into the close. Let's just scan our gainers list right away here. Just go right from top to bottom. And here we go. Kev, are you still in on this trade? There we go. Kevin K, one of our, I'll tell you what, one of our better traders in our room, very successful students nonetheless. But yeah, he's in. If you want a student to follow, I'll tell you really quick, no pressure, Kev. Follow Kev. Follow, a number of students, I'll tell you, but Kevin's one of them. So, with that said, he's in this trade from what, Kevin? What do you say, 180, 170? Yeah, 172. I'm not shortchanging Kevin here. He wrote to everyone here, including myself earlier, at 2:07 Eastern. He's back in on the MNTS at $1.72. It has been a beaut since. And going up into the close here, let's see if it could at least try and break above this and flip this into support, because that's what I was looking for earlier. I was saying that we had a lot of time left to see this happen. So even just before, if you're on YouTube right now, on social media, I wrote this at 1 o'clock. If MNTS flips 2 to 203 well into support, has to do it clean, has to do it well, I could see a potential higher high over 231 to try and get towards the next historical level. This is obviously a reach, but it would be pretty crazy if the stars could align and for this to try and make a move up towards the next historical around like 495, whatever this one wick is down here. What is that, 465? Hey, you could dream, right? So I don't mind putting this on our list here too. It's definitely a lot more tradable than the BSLK. It's not up as much, so I'll take it. Where's my list? I just lost track of my freaking watch list here already. There we go. All right, BSLK, MNTS we got here. Let's keep it going, though. What else could we add to our watch list for right now? WBTN, I guess, also had some pop at the open today. Didn't even realize that. It's been a crazy day. GBIO pop just now, but order book bad. We're going to pass on that one. RSLS pop drop. So, if this wants to prove us here wrong, if this wants to prove something to us, anything to us, then let it. I'll tell you what's been proving something to us here today, and I sure as hell wish I stayed in my trade. Peace Guy. So I have no problem just telling you the good and the bad because you're kind of a jerk if you don't mention either or. So that's where I'll tell you here on the Peace Guy. I look at this trade. I'll just show you here. Screw it. Look at this trade. I bought at 10:09 on Monday afternoon. I got out at 10:03. How bad, right? Because this was the Paramount merger, and it's technically a new ticker. So technically speaking, it's like breaking all-time lows. So there was very high risk when I had first called this out. I actually wrote that to all of us here at the time. I swing traded the TKO stock here that moved with Paramount on news. But holy shit, this thing made a way better, way faster move than I was even expecting. So yeah, I didn't jump into this one again. So Fausto did, though. Fausto has been crushing it on this trade. Actually, a number of us are inside our live trading room. Really quick, who's in on this Peace Guy trade right now with Fausto? If you're in on Peace Guy right now, let me know. Lee, you're in? Very nice. Great job from Lee. Lee, one of our platinum students here. Wendy, you were? All right, well, hey, if you made money on it, right? If you got out earlier, especially if you wrote it up towards 17, but any money is good money, right? So it looks like Wendy did okay, Anna did okay, Tim doing good. So, you know what, hey, for the afternoon, I could put this on our list. The only issue is that it's just not nearly close enough to the highs as I'd want to see it. So that's all. Edit, a little slow, but had a great day today, kind of near the highs at least. Tilray, no brainer. This is going right back on our watch list. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, easy to say because it's going up and it's breaking above yesterday's high. And I think above the high from Monday also, right? Ran up into the close. This was actually the higher high yesterday morning. And here we are now. But the larger talking point about this trade is exactly what we've been mentioning all from this week. We've been saying this from Monday. But with this stock, though, you do have resistance. It did just break over at 120. So that's the first thing, I guess. But otherwise, this has a gap on the daily chart for us to see try and get filled up to $1.37. So I've been advocating a potential move from when we first called this out at 79 cents. I averaged into it. So average price 77, 78, but pretty much right there, the opening price from Monday, that 79-cent opening print. Well, we were saying right then and there, like, ooh, maybe there's a chance for this to fill the gap on the daily chart if the stars could align, if the pot stocks all move together here pretty well. CGC, it's like kind of doing crap. ACB, it's up 4.4%. This actually doesn't look terrible. It has some movement from yesterday's lows. SNDL is very strong. This actually had a pretty good move on Monday where it had popped, and it's like right near those highs again, right? I guess you could say the same with the others. It's not really a necessity to add all of these right now. We're more focused on the Tilray trade as a collective here, as a group. If they want to pop during this meeting and if they make a faster little tiny push for us, then I'll add a few of them for right now, but we'll just focus on Tilray. Caba, not Cava. You got CAVA, but then you got CABA. CABA, this one's on the gainers list right now. It's at the highs, so that alone is pretty good. This stock has a good spread, good order book otherwise. Took a huge hit from 26, 27-ish down to sub 1. So perhaps if the stars align, maybe this could be the next BSLK or the next MNTS or what name you. So I'll put this on our list for now. Not a bad contender. All right, what else we got here, folks? Anything else looking good here from the gainer side? Just type it in the chat. Kathleen, Brad, Barbara, Michael, let me know. I think this is not looking half bad either. CRNC, good spread. All right. Yeah, I like this one for now. CRNC near the highs, good order book. Let's check the daily chart. Kind of an interesting graph. A lot of gaps. Gap here, Gap here, gap back up here. But, broke back over where we did have decent support. So if it contains over this, even on a pullback day like tomorrow, if it drops, and this could possibly be a swing trade in due time. Great day trade, though, either way today. All right, SRFM up, down. This did not have as great volume on the book. This has normally all right volume, so you do want to see it fill in a little bit more. We traded the stock back in late June, but otherwise, though, if it's not going to fill in, then eventually this thing is going to fall off pretty quick. I mean, all stocks do fall off, but if it doesn't have as good of a book, then there's not as much support protecting it. So, not a surprise to have this basically make a round trip back down. XFOR, AGL. You got to just do our due diligence here, folks. Kind of scan through. That CC trade didn't look half bad. NIU not looking bad here. It's on the at the high of the day on the way up to $5. Good chart here, breaking above the high back from like late March. 52-week high there. All right. Well, this took a huge hit. So the sellers have been winning this battle for a long time. And if this fails to play nice and hold higher lows well enough here, then sellers will continue to win the battle. But check the order book. Yeah, I mean, I'll add it. Not a bad look here, NIU. These are all contenders. Are they making great moves right now in front of us? Are they volatile? Do they, have good movement right now? I mean, they're at the high. So it's not to say just jump in right now to jump in, but as long as these stocks are holding right now where they are, it presents a better opportunity going into 330. All right, haven't even hopped over to the loser side yet. IOVA is up a lot here. A lot of these small cap stocks here this morning, right? Find some stocks that we're more familiar with, maybe. So Chewy right there. AI is having a good little pop right now. Yeah, I'll add the AI trade. This has some good movement to it. We're familiar with the stock also, and it's on a gap fill of its own. I mean, I don't think it's going to get all the way up to 22 and change, but it's off to a good start. All right, let's see anything else here from the gainer side. There's our Coles trade that we spoke about. What was it, on Monday in the afternoon? I totally forgot about it yesterday, but obviously good push here this morning, and it's near the high, so I could definitely see myself putting this back on. You got some resistance right around here, around 1408, $14-ish. All right, we'll add it. KSS. There we go. Got to multitask, right? See what else we got before we hop over to the loser side here. CLF. A lot of stocks are looking like this, right? So you don't want to add every stock under the sun that's just near or kind of near or at the highs. You want some good movement to them. So that's where I got to be a little bit more picky and choosy and selective. Even this Lumen trade looks okay, just, very slow. The RKT had better movement. I like this one a little bit more. Now we're kind of near 5% anyway. So, all right, we got room for RKT, right? We got to add this RKT trade here. It's on a great tear. It's been a great swing trade. So, yeah, we'll put RKT on there. Now let's hop over to the loser side, though. See if there's anything just as good, if not better. Cree. I don't know what the heck happened here, but it got squashed down nearly 80%, but it's flat, so we're not trading this thing right now. ACDC. Shame to see the band down about 41% today. All right, now, obviously kidding with that. ProFrac Holding Corp. So, yeah, I don't know what happened to this one. I don't think they have an affiliation to the band. But just to say, though, yeah, I mean, it's down enough where maybe you could look for a squeeze, but let it prove itself to you. It's down. So there's no reason to try and jump in on this long. BTAI down 20%. Oh, what happened? What happened to BTAI? They have their common stock offering? Let's find out. We've been talking about this for like, a week and a half now at this point. Not yet even. Not yet. I guess there was some news at 7 o'clock a.m., but there was like a pop and drop, I reckon. That common stock offering is coming, just to let you know. This is the first red day in the last 7 or 8 candles in a row. So obviously it was due for a pullback, but that offering is going to hit, and this thing's going to drop down to like $3, $3.50, like that. All right, we had Kava before. Now we got Kava. A little flat for my liking here, but had a good bounce to begin. This could be back on a nice rebound in due time. It's a very healthy long-term graph still, as long as it holds over support. So that right around 71.50, pretty damn good support there over time. Maybe even a little under that, but just maybe tomorrow we could focus on this more as a swing trade again. All right. I think that's kind of it, though, folks. Listen, market's up a little bit. A lot of stocks we found from the gainer side. If there is anything else that is popping on the way up, that's like halting right now, that's where I'll need some help. So let me know if there's anything else that I missed. But otherwise, I like what we got. Yeah, the Tilray trade back on our list again. So that's for right now. We'll see if this could at least keep with these higher lows. Gap fill up to 137. AMD. Yeah, I mean, it's moving up a little bit right now. If it was closer to the highs, perhaps. It's a great swing trade, though. Keep it on our side list. There you go, Genevieve. Very nice. I'm rooting everyone on, right? I don't want to, say like, oh, this thing's gonna tank. I hate this stock. No, I'm just speaking common sense. So, I'm a lover. I'm not a hater. I'm just rooting everyone on. But I'm telling you, this thing's going down like Frazier real soon. So you just don't want to be playing some musical chairs with this stock right now, right? Even here, I was saying, oh, maybe this could flip into a level. I wasn't confident whatsoever about it. And it actually did it pretty nicely here and then moved up. The more it keeps poking this thing is going to get destroyed. So, yeah, you don't want to press your luck too much on that. Genevieve got out on the last of her 4 trades right there. There you go. Go. Check the Benzinga Pro scans here, see if there's anything looking just as good. I mean, MP's been the hot hand of late. Speaking of the more expensive stocks, maybe I'll check MP out. You got PRPL, you got Fate. There's our Cabo, which we have. What was that other one? PRPL? Nah, not really a fan of this. Kind of a spotty graph. You got like little specks and dots, spots here. Those are points of inactivity. So I'm not really big on that. But hey, like we'd said, we told this to you before, if this could hold over $2, 203, this MNTS trade here, then it could be a nice entry. Let me ask, because we were just talking about this before I started the meeting. Who here just jumped into the MNTS trade? I know Kevin's been in, he's been killing it. Again, keep in mind, we just brought this up before from 1 o'clock, right? If MNTS flips this well into support, I could see a potential higher high over 231 to try and get towards. This is a reach 496. I don't think we're getting there today. You could dream, but yeah, I mean, I could definitely see a potential higher high though in the making, right? Still got time, and it has to make the move up towards 230 at least, steadily. But it's a great trade, really nice trade. If anyone got that. All right, folks. So, hey, heading into the close, you got Rich on the mic, and then I'll be here in chat at least. I'll be on a coaching call with one of our students. But again, that's where I say if you're a platinum or diamond student, more experienced trader here, I've already worked with a bunch of us and scheduled a few of us from yesterday. But if you wanted to work with me going into the end of this month, into the beginning of September, definitely just reach out, and then I'll look to just see what's open on my calendar Monday through Friday. Even did a pre-market coaching this morning with one of our students, Roberto, early in the morning right there. But, hey, just let me know otherwise and we'll get you scheduled. But we'll be back on the mic here in just about 10 or so minutes here, folks. All right. We'll talk to you all soon.